All right. Welcome to the Ellis Highlight Reel Podcast. It's back. Finally. Um, Obviously, I'm your host, Brandon Ellis, as always. Obviously, this episode, like I said last night on my Facebook, is going to talk about the NBA bubble, the NFL season so far, 2 games in. Also going to give updates, future episodes potentially. What I'm planning on doing, I just gotta, get the schedule together and schedule it with people, and then blogs as well in the future too. I'll be writing a lot more, hopefully. Another thing is too, I want to talk about is like my finals prediction of what the matchup's gonna be. It's interesting right now. Miami's up 2-1 in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the Lakers are up 2-1 right now after Denver's win last night. So we could see a Lakers Heat matchup with the LeBron and Jimmy. We could see LeBron Boston matchup, or we can get the Denver Miracle. So I'm just gonna get into the bubble since I'm already talking about the bubble. The NBA bubble has been a success to this point, in my opinion. It's been a great success for the NBA. No COVID positives, really, other than the Daniel House situation. There's been real drama with the players this last few months in the bubble. Other than Lou Will and all that, just before the bubble started. But then the Daniel House stuff was crazy. Obviously, you're gonna have somebody over in your apartment. That's not a good sign. They said she was a tester or something like that. Still, man, you can't do that and let the Rockets down like that, bro. Like, they were gonna lose to the Lakers anyway, but still, it's crazy that he did that, and to the detriment of his team. He got sent home by the NBA before they got sent home by the Lakers the next day. So there's that. The Miracles, the Phoenix Suns went undefeated but didn't make the playoffs because Portland was, had a better record going into the bubble, and they were just as good, but not just as, they were good enough to get in the play-in against Memphis. Sucks for Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton in that squad. Monty Williams is a great coach. I think Phoenix could be a dangerous team next season. Just they can pick up from what they did in the bubble and everything. So this is a good feeling. Another amazing story was the Portland run itself too, to get into the playoffs as the 8th seed. Just showed a Dame Dollars, no joke. Real deal. My MVP of the 8 games would be Damian Lillard, close with Devin Booker. I think those two were the best players at the 8 games before the playoffs started. So that was fun to watch. Then this next point, no one saw coming. The Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are for real, people. They are for real, man. I mean, they're probably not going to win this series against LA, but they're no joke. They are no joke. And people thought they were a joke, especially being down 3-1 to the Clippers. It was like, no, this series is over. The Clippers are going to win it. You got Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and 6 Man of the Year Montrezl Harrell, and Lou Will. They got so many options. But the chemistry of the Nuggets and Jamal Murray and Jokic going off in those last 3 games, after being down double digits in all 3 games too, it's a scary sight. And you saw it last night. Jokic took over, and it was not, not a good look for LA, last night. But I still think LeBron and AD are going to win it. I think the game that makes me feel that way is game 2. When Denver was up late, 103-102, I think it was, something like that. They were up 1, and then Anthony Davis hit the game winner to make it 105-103. And I think that's the swing game. That was the swing game of the series. Now, Denver could force 7. They could, make it 6. I said before the series, Lakers in 6. That's my feeling on it, and that's still probably gonna be my feeling on it. I say Lakers in 6 in the Western Conference Finals. The Eastern Conference Finals, Miami's been a great story as well in this bubble. 10-1 in the playoffs, or 10-2 now in the playoffs. No, it's 10-1. It's 10-1 in the playoffs. Either way, they're dominant, man. They're being dominant right now. It's crazy. It's crazy to see the Heat doing well. Jimmy Butler, they took down the Bucks. It's insane. Actually, it was 10-2. 10-2. Because the Bucks got a game. When Giannis went out and the Heat let down, that should have been a sweep, but the Heat, let down. Got the win in 5. Butler's probably, I think Butler's been my postseason MVP. Because if Jimmy Butler doesn't play how he's played so far, or Dragic, Miami would be probably at home, and the Bucks would be in the conference finals right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. The bubble is took away one thing, and we all knew what it was going to take away, but we didn't see what it took away till the second round. Home court. They took away home court. And home court advantage. And you see more series being more competitive, more games being more competitive, which is a good thing for the NBA. I like that. I also like the fact that the NBA is also thinking about a January restart, giving more time to restart instead of starting in December. Also like that. And anything else I want to say about the bubble? I like that LeBron was mad that he didn't get enough votes for MVP. Even though I feel Giannis deserved that award for how he played, I feel like LeBron should have got a lot more votes. It should have been a lot closer than 84 votes for first place votes for Giannis to the LeBron 16. I feel like it should have been maybe 60-40, something like that. That's how I feel. I don't think it should have been 84 votes for Giannis. But that's just my opinion. Because the Lakers needed LeBron. But I feel like AD took some of those votes away from LeBron too. I don't think he got that many votes. But having AD there helps LeBron too. So we'll see. We'll see what the Lakers do in the next series. Now, the topic I wanted to talk about a little bit more is the topic I wrote about on my blog last night. My Eagles, or the Philadelphia Eagles. 0-2 to start. It's obvious. It's obvious what's wrong right now. One of the things that's wrong, or the main thing that's wrong, is the quarterback play of Carson Wentz right now is not great. Especially when you go up 17-0 in a game, you can't throw 2 picks. You can't turn the ball over. You just can't, man. Against the football team, bro. The football team. The Washington football team. Props to the Washington football team. And congrats to their fans. But we let the football team beat us. Now, the Rams game, I kind of was hoping we would bounce back. But I was, in the back of my head, I still felt like that was probably going to be a close loss. But it ended up being a blowout because Jim Schwartz came out yesterday and said he had the wrong game plan. He didn't implement the best game plan. And I'm like, Jim, what are you doing, bruh? You always do this, bruh. Get Nathan Gary out of the lineup. Get Avante out of the lineup. Play Cravon LeBlanc more. Come on. What are you doing, Jim? Darius Slay has been a beast, though. I gotta give Slay that. I gotta give Slay his props because he locked down McLaurin. He didn't let Robert Woods dominate against us either. He's been doing his job. No one's been throwing his way hardly, and because he's got good cover techniques. Now he just got to get the rest of them to cover better. But I like the fact that Slay is doing his job. Now I gotta expect Wentz to do his job offensively, and I liked his mindset when he said what he said today about not letting the outside voices get into his head. Don't let anything like that get in his head. It's not going to bother me. I like that mindset that he has right now. He's just got to fine-tune it in his head and just make the reads, man. Make the smart reads. If it's nothing open, don't just throw the ball away or tuck it. Tuck it and run. Be 2017 you, bro. If you can. You know? Just be 2017 you, bro. Like that's the thing I need from you, bro. You know? I need you to be 2017, man. I feel like you can be you if you just get out of your head. I know you can. Doug, I need you to call more bootlegs and more play action. Get him outside the pocket instead of having him stand in the pocket all the time because he's not really a pocket quarterback right now. He's not a Peyton Manning. He ain't Drew Brees. He ain't Tom Brady. He's Carson Wentz. Let him throw on the run. Let him throw on off bootleg. Let him do what Jared Goff did to us last week. Create some routes for these young receivers without Jalen Reagor now, which sucks for him because I was looking forward to see what he was going to do against this Cincinnati secondary that gave up 35 last week to Baker. And Wentz is better than Baker. Now we don't have Jalen Reagor again for 6 to 8 weeks. Hoping 5, like Lord Brunson said. Or like, I'm hoping it's 5 weeks. You know? But it's just one of those things, man. It's just tough right now. It's a UCL ligament injury for Reagor. So it's not a good look right now. Injury-wise. That means Hightower is going to get more snaps. And we saw what he did in week 1. He dropped the ball. And he did get open. I'm not going to say he didn't get open, but he just dropped the ball. And he didn't fight back on the Moreland pick. Former JMU star Jimmy Moreland's pick. So that's the thing. We'll see what we'll see what happens. And another thing too that's getting my hopes up a little bit too. In 2003, we were also 1-2. And in McNabb's 5th year too. That was McNabb's 5th year. That was Andy's 5th year. And what do we do? 12-4 finish. NFC Championship berth. It's possible. And McNabb was worse. When you look at the stats, McNabb was worse completion percentage. No touchdowns, 3 picks. He was worse. Less yardage. He was worse than Carson right now. And everyone in Philadelphia is like, bench Wentz. Put in Jalen Hurts. Bruh. McNabb was worse than Carson, bruh. I bet back in 2003, they were like chanting probably getting A.J. Feely in, bruh. I don't think he was the backup in 2003, but, you know. They were chanting to get the other guy, like A.J. Feely in. Like the backup in probably in 2003. Guess what McNabb did? He shut the haters up and got us to the 12-4 finish. Or won 12 out of the last 14 games. Got us to 12-4. Got us in the postseason. And that's what we can do again this year. Because the division's weak. It's weak. I'm not impressed by the Cowboys win. I'm really not. Atlanta should have fell on that football. On the onside kick. Atlanta should have fell on it. They should have. They should have known the rule. But Dan Quinn don't know how to coach. He really don't. You can look back on, 2015, I think it was, at San Francisco. 4th and 1 on the 1, and you kick the 3. 4th and 1 on the 1, you kick the 3. Down 4. You're down 4. You kick the 3. Then you can get a stop. They don't know logical football. They don't know situational football down in Atlanta. That's why Atlanta's been sucking. That's why they blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. Not because it's like Tom Brady was great in that second half. But they don't know situational football down there in Georgia. Apparently. They don't. And that was a situational football play. And they let the Cowboys get on that football. I will give props to Dak Prescott for making the throws to get him back from 20 down. I will give him his props. He made all the plays. He did the best, he did everything correctly enough to get him back from the 20-point deficit. I will give Dak his props. Jerry needs to pay him. I don't think Jerry will pay him because somehow Dallas would be Dallas. I can see it. Dallas could be Dallas. Because they don't have Leighton Vander Esch. They don't have Sean Lee. They don't have their defense. They only have Jalen Smith in that linebacker core right now. They lost Jarwin. But that offense is still going to flourish. Because it's not going to be the offense. They scored 40 points. Guess what they gave up? 39 to Atlanta. They gave up 39 to Atlanta. And they would have lost 39-37 if Atlanta got on the football. But like I said, they don't know situational football because they don't know how to adjust to situational football. Currently, the Eagles don't know situational football either because Wentz is in his head right now. He'll be fine. I feel like he'll be okay. I don't know if we'll go 12-4 like an 0-3. I really don't. But I know this division is not great. It really isn't. It really isn't. It's not that great. The Giants lost Saquon. The football team, we should have stepped on their throat, bruh. We should have. We just should have stepped on the throat. Ran the ball more. But guess what? We didn't have Miles in that game. And Miles came back last week over 100 total yards from scrimmage. Actually, it was 131 total yards from scrimmage, 99 on the ground. He gonna get 100 yards this game. I think against Cincinnati. Dak's gonna use him more. I hope so. Because Cincinnati can't stop the run because they couldn't stop the two-headed monster of Chubb and Hunt last week. Like, if you control the clock, the Eagles will win this game. They'll keep Burrow off the field. You got to keep Burrow off the field. This kid can throw it. And Jim Schwartz's defense hasn't proven to me they can stop the rookie. Darius Slay can cover A.J. Green. But these other corners, who's going to cover Tyler Boyd? Who's going to cover Tyler Boyd, bruh? You going to put Nikhil Roby-Coleman on him? He can barely cover Cooper Kupp. He couldn't cover Cooper Kupp. You going to put... Bruh. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens on Sunday. My predictions for this week 3. I'm going to do 4 games each week. Obviously, I'm going to pick the Eagles. And over Cincy. I'm going to pick Seattle over Dallas. It's in Seattle, and Wilson's been balling. Wilson's my MVP right now. Ain't Mahomes, ain't Jackson. It's Russell Wilson. He's my NFL MVP right now. He's been 5 touchdowns against Bill Belichick's defense. Yeah, you're my front runner for MVP. That was a great game the other night. To go off the tangent. Speaking of the Chiefs-Baltimore game on Monday night, I'm going to pick Kansas City in that game. It's I think it's at Baltimore, but I think Mahomes is just going to be too much for that defense without Earl Thomas. So I'm going to pick Mahomes and the Chiefs to win that game. And then the Sunday night game is the final game, which I think is going to be the best game of the week. Or one of the best games. I think either Monday night or Sunday night are going to be the best game. That's my prediction on the best game of the week to watch. So if you're just a fan of football, I will wait to watch those games. to be honest. Because nothing really else is going to be that impressive. But we'll see. The Steelers have been a great 2-0 team. I think they'll go to 3-0 this week as well. Shout out to my friend Chuck Norris. Michael Chuck Norris, but he don't like me calling him Michael, so I'll call him Chuck. I always call him Chuck. So, Chuck, Steelers can go 3-0. If the Eagles win, maybe, in a couple weeks, we play y'all in a couple weeks, brother. We'll see, bro. Hopefully Wentz gets it out of his head. And then, other key matchups. Niners going to win that game against the Giants. Cleveland's going to go to 2-1 against Washington. I don't know any other key matchups I can think of off the top of my head right now without looking at the schedule. So, I think that's all I wanted to really talk about for the most part with the NFL. Like I said, if the Eagles win this week against Cincinnati, it could line up for a 2-2 start. Because the Eagles can go to Levi. I think they can go to Levi and take care of the Niners because of the injuries on the defensive line on the Niners, and they don't have Sherman. It's going to be a shootout. In Levi, I feel like. Now, the injury to Rager really hampers that thought process a little bit. I didn't know about the injury when I wrote the article, but I still kind of feel like the injuries on the defense in the Niners are going to be one of those important, it's going to be too important for them. So that's what I feel. So now, that's the NFL talk. I'm going to go now and just talk about the future of this blog and everything like that. Not the future of this brand. So the next podcast episode, hopefully, or within the next two, I'm going to do another basketball Zoom call with the guys. We're probably going to have Connery and Austin return. I'm going to probably have Michael Curry, another senior on that team with me, and Connery and Austin. Probably going to have Thomas Goins, who is a junior on that team. Probably going to try to get Ryan Hobson on there too, if I can. Just got to contact him and everything like that. The tough part about Ryan is he's overseas right now serving in in the military. And thank you for your service, Ryan. It's just going to be tough, but I think I can get it, hopefully we can get the times together and everything like that. Obviously, I'm going to try to record a podcast each week. One thing I forgot to update, but I'm going to update after I get talking about this. Each week on the podcast, I'm going to update the fantasy league that I created called the Ellis Highlight Reel Fantasy League. I think it's the Ellis Highlight Reel Bowl, whatever it is on the league on ESPN. I have Connery, Austin, my friend Corey, who I interviewed on here, Chuck, who I just mentioned, is on there. Thomas, who I just mentioned, is in there. Dylan King's in there. Trevor Cron is in there as well. Trying to think if there is. Oh, Jacob Pullen's in there. I think I named all 10. Did I name all 10? Oh, no, JaVale. I had JaVale in there, too. JaVale Swift, who is Connery's brother, is in there, too. So, just 9 of them and me are in this league. And right now, I'm 1-1 in the league. I think most of us are all 1-1. There is a couple. I think there's two. I know Pullen's 0-2 right now. I'm unfortunate for him. Me and him had the best game, like one of the best, closest matchups you could ever have in fantasy. If you ever played fantasy before, it's one of the closest matchups you could ever have. In fantasy football, it's crazy that I only won by 0.2. If Kamara got two more yards, it would have been tied. That's how crazy that game was. That matchup was last week. Now, I didn't play Stephon Diggs, and I should have. He's been balling. I don't know why I haven't played him. That's what I get. Just a little bit, that's what I get. But I still won. That's all that matters. But when you think about it, Kamara doesn't have that big game last night or on Monday Night Football the other night. I would have won by like 50. So, it's okay. Or no, I wouldn't have won by like, he had 34. I would have won by 34. So, hey, them's the break sometimes in fantasy. That's how it goes. I feel, I'm going to get into the prize of the winner of the league is going to get an interview spot with me on the podcast. 1v1, fun Zoom call probably with me on the show. Just to talk about the season, what their thought processes were, and stuff like that. That's what the winner of the league is going to get. Now, if I win the league, if I win it, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick second between whoever makes the playoffs. Someone who made the playoffs, I'm going to pick it. It could be, if I'm in the championship, if I make it to the championship, right, and I win it, right, I'm probably going to pick the semifinalists. So whoever makes the semifinals, guys, if I win it. I'm not saying I will win it. I'm just saying that's who I'm picking if I win the league. It will be the second place guy who makes it the championship finalist. That's who I'm going to pick. That's what it will be. It will still be a 1v1. Next year, I'm probably going to try to add more people in the league. Be more fun that way, I feel like. It'd be tougher. I feel like it's tougher with more people. I just wanted to get 10 to start it and start the brand a little bit of the league and everything like that. Just wanted to see good people, like competitive people in it. I just want to have fun. It's a fun league, obviously. With the pandemic and everything like that, it's kind of tougher right now for football. But it's fun. It's fun, and it's been a great time, and I'm glad you guys joined in on it. And then, final thing I want to talk about, the blog. Obviously, I came back with that Eagles 0-2 piece last night. I'm probably going to write a finals preview when the finals matchup is set, so keep an eye on that. What I feel who will be the champion. I'm going to write a preview piece on that. Probably going to do each week as well, around Tuesday, a recap of the week in NFL. Going to start that every Tuesday. Just maybe a storyline, more so than a full recap of each game, but I might have the scores of all the games at the end of that piece. Like I did this week. I just didn't do the scores this week. I'm probably just, going to do that from now on, too. Baseball playoffs, I'm probably going to... That's coming up soon, so I'm going to do a World Series prediction. And I feel like that's all I wanted to talk to y'all about on this return episode of the podcast. I feel like it's, I'm doing it in my car this week. Just want a different scenery. I'll be back on the next podcast. I'll be back on my laptop. I just wanted to do a different little scenery in my car, my Celica, my baby. This is my baby right here, Caroline. Before you ask, no, I don't know a Caroline. I name it for the song Sweet Caroline. Fenway tradition. Sweet Caroline. Bye, bye, bye. Yep. That's why I named it that. So, from me in my car, this has been the podcast, and I'll see y'all hopefully soon. Probably within the next, hopefully I can get it within, I think the first weekend in October. I'm hoping that's the plan. I'm going to message everybody for that Zoom call, and then there could be another Zoom call podcast in the future after that. I will give more details when I think about when I do it. When I start thinking about when I want to do it. But this first Zoom call is another basketball one. So it might be a repeat on some memories and everything like that. But I just wanted to get other people's perspective from that, from that season or other seasons, So thank y'all for tuning in this week. And this Brandon Ellis signing off once again. Peace out, you two.